don't know if we'll go to the simple or to the complex. I sure hope we don't delve into snotterization or chocolatization. But what we're here is for Mel in the middle. And I don't know what to expect because Andy asked me, are you in a good mood? So I don't know if this means simple or complex. Which way will it go?
So is he going to ruin your mood or make it better?
I know.
Which one is it?
I'm not going to take... I've never ruined your mood.
No.
Never, ever.
No.
Usually, you leave here just really good.
Yes.
Like, that was a good show. Even though I totally
it's
annihilated
amazing.
you. Yeah.
I mean, usually I start here and then up here. That's what happens. I mean, now I'm just kind of in the middle.
So why would you ask if he's in a good mood?
In fairness, you did spend some time with the villain of What Ifsville.
That could affect anyone's mood.
Heavy lifting in the questioning department of the villain. He was asking some pretty tough questions.
I know.
So that could bring you down a little bit.
Yeah.
So again, I'm trying to come up alongside you and be like, Mel, did the villain get to you? Did he do too much? Like, what do we need to do today? Do we need to encourage you? Or do we need to keep going in the villainizational?
Is it really going to change anything?
Not a thing.
No, I don't think so.
Are you ready now?
We're ready.
You know what I want to talk about?
Okay, what?
Turkeyism.
Turkeyism?
I want to talk about Turkeyization of the entire world.
Talking
Are you
about,
ready?
like Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Don't ask me.
That is what I want to do.
No, wow.
Mel knows, Fred is.
Fred is. You couldn't even make him here.
It's because I was too busy thinking about what I want to ask you. You ready? Here we go, Mel.
Okay.
The language of Fertilesbury Land.
What? What is Ifsville?
Uh-oh.
What? No, this is good. What is
Oh, okay, good.
What Ifsville has a very, 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 very big Thanksgiving tradition. It is a community dinner that is hosted, sponsored, and put together by your church. It is a big deal. Huge deal in the community.
That's fun.
Tons of people come. Tons of people get fed. Tons of people get stuffed like a turkey. Hence, turkeyization. Right? The idea of becoming stuffed. They get all of this. Right? So, for years and years and years, you, as the pastor, have been honored by a group of people who take this very seriously, and they stick to the traditions. Everybody knows what to expect. Everybody understands that when they come to the Turkey Day for What Ifsville celebration, they know what they're going to get. It is good, right? Everybody appreciates it. Everybody is happy. Funds for the church come in. Right? Because people are just, when they celebrate, they write checks. It's a known fact, right? When people feel good, they give money, right? Usually the attendance the following Sunday is spiked a little bit. Some friends, some family, some things happen, right? It's just a good day, right? And you know what to expect. However, this Thanksgiving, there are some new members in What If's one and only First Congregational Church. And these new members have been excited. They've been hearing about this day for a long time. They're very excited. And they have some ideas of their own now that they would like to implement into this Thanksgiving feast.
Oh.
They have some thoughts. They have some ideas. They have some dishes that they might want to bring.
Like
some food choices that might not be part of the tradition, right? So my first question, Pastor Mel, the one and only pastor, right? Last time we got past the whole puffing Mel up, right? Now we're into this moment where Mel, first and foremost, these people, they come up with glowing eyes, right? Big halos, big faces that are just overjoy us for getting to partake in this. They come up and they say, Pastor Mel, we've got some ideas and some thoughts for our Thanksgiving dinner. What is your immediate response to this group of people?
Take it to the Ladies' Aid.
take it to the ladies' aid. So you,
I'm not getting in the middle of this.
being the pastor, you say to them, hey, this is fantastic. I'm glad that you're excited about this.
Yep.
Go over here to the left.
Yep.
All right, good. So you have bypassed all the problems.
I think.
Not even close. Here we go.
Oh, no.
Right, so they go to the ladies in waiting, right? And they say, listen, we've got great ideas. We've got great thoughts, right? We want to add this Thanksgiving some really important dishes like macaroni and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
We would like to add to the traditional turkey hot dogs. We want a hot dog bar to go along.
You know what I would do? I would use skewers and shape the hot dogs into a turkey, and I'd be like,
oh, Summer could do it.
Right? So again,
Yes.
that would be great. But remember, Summer is your outside source. She is not the waiting.
not
the
part of
ladies in
your
waiting.
church.
Not there, Mel. We pretty much established that, right? So they want a hot dog bar, right?
Yeah.
They want some macaroni and cheese, right? They want some sauerkraut to be included in this year's Thanksgiving. They are super excited about this whole thing. And they go to the ladies in waiting, and the ladies in waiting hear about the first 6 words out of their mouth. And what do you think that their response is to the first 6 words?
I hope they would say sauerkraut. Or
They did.
they did.
They did. They said sauerkraut, but not in a very good way.
Oh.
Right? So they immediately said the famous words that all good church people say. We're sorry, but we don't do that. We have a set plan. We have a set purpose, right? So this group of young people who have just been turned down from sauerkraut, hot dogs, and macaroni and cheese,
Yeah.
they come back to their pastor. Very stumbleized. Which is pretty biblical concept.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Don't cause people to stumble, especially over food. That's what Paul says.
Especially over.
Right? Especially over food. Don't worry, one person's going to eat this, one person's going to eat that. Now you got a problem, Mel, because now it's been handed back into your life. So they come back to you first, because it's always the upset people that come first.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But you know the ladies in waiting are waiting for a pastoral moment. But first, the young people come back and they say, Pastor Mel, we did what you said. We didn't even get to finish our sentence. And we were told, stick it. What does the pastor of What-Ifsville say to these young people? These new Christians who know nothing of the traditions of What-Ifsville's Thanksgiving Day feast.
Would I override the ladies' aid? I would feel as if I did that, I would usurp their authority. But then I got these young people who
Super excited.
could I mean, I'm just thinking, could we have
No, don't say it, no. Don't say what I think you're gonna say.
what do you think I'm gonna say?
A separate dinner
Yes!
for you guys.
Yes! Oh no! I just made
Guessing that's a wrong answer. From your outside source. It's now stabbing herself. Mel, this is let's before she
Yeah.
Rosa
takes
Parks
you
would
apart.
disagree.
Yes, the Sophie Scholl Society would have a problem with this whole
You go in the back of the
thing.
bus and have your own dinner over there. That's fine.
Mel,
Different day.
this is a community Thanksgiving dinner. There's only one.
yeah.
It's only one moment in time, right? So you're really going to say, how about if you guys go do your own thing? When this is supposed to be all about unity. This is supposed to be all about the community.
You want to know something ironic? I noticed in my memories today on Facebook, that a year ago I made a video, reflections, rebuking the seniors of the church for how they treat young people and how they don't let them grow. They don't teach them. They don't include them. They get threatened by them. They tell them this is how it is. And I literally made a video a year ago. They came out today. A year ago. About this. And he didn't know that.
Didn't have a clue.
So it's kind of funny. But it was that exact thing. Because like it's very real and very alive and very active in church. Which is why I made the video. But yeah.
Wow.
So now, if there is not an option to let them do their own thing,
Yeah.
which would be an option, but defeats the entire purpose, and pretty soon you, the pastor of the church, just put your stamp of approval on division. Actually, you actually did it. You divided the
That was
church.
your idea.
Because you said to them, why don't you go do your own thing?
Would it have been better to have said, let's get together with the representative from the Ladies' Aid and one or two young people and see if we can work this thing out so that both would be satisfied.
Yep. So that's a fantastic idea.
How would you present that?
Only before you present that, before you can even begin to present that, the Ladies' Aid people get a hold of you. And they say, Pastor Mel, we were approached by this, and we just want you to know that if you're going to say this is in any way, shape, or form okay, if we're going to go out of the norm, we're not going to do this.
Whoa!
We quit. If we can't do it the way that we always
What do I say, Mel?
do it. No, Mel.
Don't let the door hit you.
These
Adios.
young people,
Nice knowing you.
They didn't agree to run this whole thing, and they have no idea how to run
Right.
this whole thing. They just wanted to bring some sauerkraut, some macaroni and cheese, and some hot dogs. Like that's all they wanted to do. So you know this, or you know that this is a problem.
We can Turkify those hot dogs now.
If the Women's Aid Society of your church does not involve themselves in this dinner, Mel, you know where this is going.
Oh,
it's not
It's
happening.
just going to be a fiasco.
It's going to be a
It's
fiasco.
going to be.
Or the best dinner ever.
You think?
Oh, yes.
Hot dogs?
Without
Macaroni.
the old hags there, yes.
So now, Mel, now we know Summer's opinion, right? Of this whole thing, right? And she's pretty much right. Like that's probably what she would do. But Mel, this is not Summer. She is not the pastor of the First Church
Church
of
of What Ifs.
No, but
However-
the pastor might call her to make some turkey dogs.
She might. She might be the pastor if you don't do this right. She might be
Take
a replacement,
over.
right? So Mel, the Women's Aid people come in, and they do. They really truly give you that ultimatum. Say like, hey, we told them no.
It's so
if
easy.
you override us in any way, shape, or form, we're just not going to have anything to do with this. So Mel, what would you do without having Summer there to hold you up? Because we've established this
without-
in Weathersfield.
He's like,
Yes, without Summer involved. She's not there yet. She's not involved yet, right? We're gonna get there. She's just way ahead. But this is just you and the Women's Aid people right now. What are you gonna tell them if they say, "Hey, we're gonna quit"? Are you gonna say, "Hey, I had this great idea. I thought maybe we'd all get together"?
Yeah, would you
kumbaya,
still call a meeting
we'd
after that?
Like
If
it'd all be
they said that?
awesome. Because they just told you the meeting's a waste of time, and if you go ahead with this, we're gonna quit. So why would you have a meeting? Like you're caught right there. If you say to them, "Hey, I thought we'd have a little meeting. We'd all get together."
call their bluff, Mel.
You can't follow
Call
Summer's
their
advice.
bluff!
No,
I didn't even think about that.
Say,
No.
okay.
no, you
We
can't.
won't have it.
See,
You
I
can't
don't-
go with Summer's advice yet. You have to find yours. You keep looking. This is not phone a friend.
It's wow.
You cannot phone a friend yet. Right? Because she's totally stealing my. This is by
I'm
now
sorry.
everybody in Mel in the middle understands how this works. So now Summer can jump me from the she can jump in on the whole thing, right? So Mel, the just plain old Mel,
Yeah.
no Summer backbone.
Yeah.
The women come and they tell you that. What are you gonna
Without a Summer backbone, I'm pretending right now I never even heard what Summer just said.
do? Yes.
I would have deferred to the women.
So you would have just said like, okay, we're going with yours.
Yep.
So then you would have had to call the young people back in and say, you know that
Sorry.
great idea I had about meeting and getting together? That's not going to happen.
I would say that's what I really think I would have done.
Would
that.
you call the young people back, or would you just kind of not say anything and hope it just...
I sure hope I would have called the young people back and tell them, because I think they deserve an answer.
Excellent. So they're standing in front of you. You're getting ready to say to them, we love you, but we don't. We love you, but we can't love on you. Right? That's really what you're going to say to them. We want you, but we really don't want you. All of those things are about ready to be said. And they're standing in front of you, and you know how those young people have that whole face, you know, that kind of lights up and they're excited and they're like, you've seen that, right? Before they're just super excited and they're standing in front of you and you have to look at them, right? You have to look at them now. And are you going to be able to, with all that excitement, are you going to literally be able to say to them, yeah, boom, we're going to crush you? Not happening. We're not meeting. Your ideas, they don't count.
I'm trying to figure out some way by which the young people would not feel.
Why?
Don't look to her. Don't do it, Mom.
I want to talk.
You're going to get to talk.
I-
There's a whole section of this
know.
right after this that's all you. So
No.
you just have to let Mel work through this part.
I'm really trying to talk with you as if Summer's
She
not
does
even
not
here.
exist, right?
She does not exist.
doesn't.
And I'm in my own world when
It's just you. Just you.
Just
Sad,
me.
lonely world, Mel.
Just me.
Just you.
I know just me.
Just
would-
you in the future. You're looking
Right.
the future in the eyes.
Right, just me. I think I would defer to the women and try to explain the women are in authority here over their kitchen, and
So
that's
you'd look at them and say, listen, guys, I love you, and
Yep.
I appreciate what you want to do here.
Yep.
But this is just a tradition thing that we've always
Yep.
done, and this is
that's
how it is.
that's what I would have done.
And you know what? If you all want to do a dinner at a different time, we'd love to have a hot dog feast. Let's do that in like February, January, June, July. Let's do it at a different time. Right? Because that would be me. The people pleasing me would immediately do that. And I'd be like, oh, no, your idea is better for July. Let's
Yeah.
do it then. Let's have a whole nother event in like June, July. You guys can do it.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, because I mean,
I think I've heard you do that, actually.
Because I would.
Yeah,
That's
me too.
exactly what I would do. Right? All right. So, listen, here's the deal. The second you start and you say that, you start to say to them this, they're immediately hurt. They're immediately crushed. They're immediately, their view of Pastor Mel is just going, they don't want to come to church anymore. Right? Now, all of a sudden, that which you were trying to avoid, the whole division thing, right?
it's happened.
It's already happened, just on the other side.
Yeah.
Right? But you know that at least the event will happen, right?
Who cares?
But not with these kids, right? These kids aren't going to be a part of this whole thing, right? That's going to be a problem, right? So now you're looking at the very thing you were trying to avoid at the very beginning. Remember, you said, I'm just going to push them off over here, right? I'm going to push them off over here.
To Ladies' Aid.
Now it's all back in your lap.
Yeah.
Right? So, now we'll get to the part that everybody's been waiting for, right? Okay. So, in your despair, you decide to phone a friend.
Yes.
And you call Summer.
Did you just go like this? What year are you in? Oh my gosh!
Why do we have a problem?
Mel was here before
Mel-
the internet and
Mel
phone.
Mel literally phoned a friend. That's right. So Mel, you phone a friend in Whatifsville, Everybody knows.
Summer, are you there?
No. You have to ask the operator to get you Summer.
Operator.
Could you please get me Summer? That's right. So Summer finally somehow gets online with you, right?
Does anyone have another nickel? Another nickel.
All right. So again, now you look at
Yeah.
Summer and you explain this whole thing to her, right?
Yeah, Summer, this is what happened. The youth came and they asked me to have their items up on the buffet, and I said, well, what you want to do is go to the Ladies' Aid because they're in charge of the kitchen during this time and work it from there. Now, the Ladies' Aid turned them down. And I just feel like since the Ladies' Aid are in charge, they should have deference. And I just feel like it hurt the kids.
Well, yeah, but they weren't. First of all, they weren't even nice to them, which that wasn't even addressed, right? Because they cut them off after how many words?
6.
6 words. They were cut off. So you went back to them and told them they have authority, but you didn't even address the fact that they were mistreated. So whether or not that's a true thing, like, okay, we're not going to do it, like, they don't need to be rude, right?
Yeah.
So they didn't love well.
And that totally was not even addressed.
So now it's about sin.
We got a whole bunch of things.
Now you just give deference to a group of women who actively sin.
Because if I was those kids, I would have been like, okay, so we don't even get heard. Like, we told him, he said, go to somebody else. They told us to stick it and then cut us off. And now he's saying, yeah, well, deal with it. And no one even cares that they were rude. Didn't even hear us out. Nobody cared.
So now Pastor Mel has just put his stamp of approval on sin. When you know the right to do and you don't do it, it's sin.
I mean, this is why I kept, like, trying to cut you off. Because there's so many things and they just stack up in my head. And then I'm like, oh, blah, blah. But, like, yeah, I would have called their bluff. Because if your plan was, okay, they came back and said they were treated rudely, we're going to call a meeting. First of all, I'm definitely going to discipline the people who were rude. Like, that's not okay. But either way, if we have to figure out this party, this Thanksgiving thing. So if you're going to call a meeting and that's your plan, and then they come preemptively before that and say, like, well, we're not going to do whatever you say, blah, blah, blah. I'd say, okay, then we're not having it. Or actually, okay, you can stay home and I'll have the kids run it because they want to do something. And I don't care if they do stay home. Now, if you actually got to a meeting, if you actually got to sit with these people in a meeting, which is ridiculous, you have to just referee grown adults, but I know that's real life. So, like, I would go back to, like, all the things, like, take away all the little shiny things in front of you that you think it's about, right? The party, the food, the Thanksgiving, and I would say, why are we hosting this dinner?
So can I...
For what purpose?
Perfect. Can I stop you right there and say what Summer's saying is important, right? So let me ask the two of you some questions based on the scenario I just set up. Is the Thanksgiving dinner by the church, is it an idol?
Well, obviously.
I think for me,
based on how the women society responded, right? Do you think they're worshiping a Thanksgiving dinner?
Or themselves, or some pride, or something.
Before we even get there, I just realized there was a huge blind spot in me as you were describing this, and the words came out. They, in 6 words, cut them off.
Yeah.
You know what word did not enter my mind? R-U-D-E.
Yep. Love is not rude.
I didn't even think about that. And when, I think it was Summer who brought it up, or you, or
No,
both.
I was rude to her and cut her off as she was trying to do it.
I was sitting here, I said, I didn't even, the thought of rudeness didn't even enter my mind.
That's what I thought in your explanation of to the kids. I'm like, okay, but we're not even going to address how they were treated
Right.
at all.
Right.
Forget the party. Now we're hurting people.
Right. And I was totally blind. I was blind to that.
Do you think that happens in church frequently?
Yeah.
That people's responses to other people are rude?
Wow. Or it could be taken that way, and people don't even realize that it's being done that way. This is... Because as soon as you bring up this word rude, 1 Corinthians 13,
Yep.
there was like a violation of 1 Corinthians 13. So there's an issue deeper than what's happening with the dinner.
Right. An idol.
When you see rudeness, isn't it a lot of times about somebody protecting their idol? Right?
Wow.
Lots
Yeah.
of times, that's what we're trying to. I'm rude to you. I'm not going to give you time. I'm not going to give you any space, any words, anything, because I do not want to hear what you have to say. I'm protecting what I think, what I feel, what I know, what I experience.
Self-seeking.
Yep. And then love is not self-seeking. Right? Now you got a problem.
Wow.
By the way, you also could go to the older women should do what with the younger women.
Exactly what I talked about a year
Should
ago.
be mentoring them. Should be taking care of them. Should be teaching
Teaching them, training them up. They should go out. They should have asked them to be part of it before they even said they had ideas. Because again, what? Yeah, okay. Do I want hot dogs and sauerkraut at Thanksgiving? No. But it's not my house. It's not my Thanksgiving. It's the church thing. It's the community thing, right? I thought, okay, how do you take that and how do you make it fun? How do you make it fit? How do you make it for everybody? You turn them into turkeys. Okay, you make it stupid. Whatever. And then everybody's good. So it's, again, why? What are we doing it for? Because if you can't go back to what are we doing it for, then you're just worshiping it.
You're right.
You're just worshiping the thing that you're fighting over, and that's all that shiny stuff I said. Just sift it out and go back to why are we doing this? Because if you don't know why you're doing it and you're not doing it for that reason, then you're just worshiping something. You're just doing it all in vain.
Well, and are we not worshiping the response? We know how we do this. We know the response it gets in the community.
Yeah,
and
tons
we
of
want
things.
that response.
Tons of things.
So that's why we're doing it. You
Yeah.
could talk that about Bible school. You could talk to that about church events that we host. You could talk to that about a whole bunch of things. We know the response this brings, and that's what we want. We want people to say, "What a great church! We want 100 kids. We want this. We want that." Right. So the second that they came back to you, the second that you knew, right, that the women said no, should the event have been canceled by you right at that moment? Should you have not sacrificed that idol, burn it up, gotten rid of it, gone, this is an idol, let's get rid of it?
Would I have done that right away? Just say no? I don't think so. Because there may, through discussion, through a process, a realization that comes to those who have been so accustomed to doing this, saying to themselves, wait a minute, we're in error here. We let this thing get off the rails.
I think I mean, there's just everything stacking up too. Like when they came to you and said, like, listen, ahead of time, we're not going to do whatever, your thing is. That's add disobedience to an elder to the list. Right? The older ladies, and right, who came to you and proactively said, we're not gonna do this, whatever your changes are, we're not gonna do it. So they're proactively being disobedient to you, okay? To an elder. So what example is that setting? And I would have said, okay, goodbye, call their bluff, And you know what? Then I would have prayed about the whole thing and said, all right, God, if you want us to still have this Thanksgiving thing, then here, we got rid of this. You send me the right people. You have the right people set this up and make it happen. Otherwise, tell me to cancel it. Because God could certainly bring in the ability for you to host a party without these evil women who are just proud of themselves in their performance. God could certainly do that.
So, Mel, the second that they came to, the women came to,
Yeah.
right? Said, we're not going to do this, right?
Yeah.
And you said you would probably defer to them. Because
Wow.
Hang on, let me get my power and my authority, and here you go.
at that very moment when you deferred to them, Mel,
You gave it to them.
but at that moment,
You're right.
at that moment that you deferred to them, Mel, would you not have been worshiping their idol?
Or at least an assisted stumbling block.
No, you just gave your power, your authority, you handed it to them and their idol, did you not?
Wow. 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 Yet another blind spot appears.
So
So-
really, you, the pastor of the church, really just led the entire church in worshiping the idol of Thanksgiving dinner. Did you not?
By sin of omission-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we could argue that you bent your knee
To them.
to them.
Right. Right.
See, I
Just
talked
that-
about this earlier, that like we don't realize how many things that we do are sin and disobedience and all these things. Like we just look at like the worldly situation and we're like, okay, how do we like keep the peace
Exactly.
with as many people as possible? Which is why I was sitting here going, why? Because I knew exactly what you were doing. You're like, how do I keep these people off my back? How do I keep these people kind of happy? And I'm just like in the calm-ish middle. That's what you were trying to do, and I'm like, why?
Right.
So everyone is lukewarm, so you all get vomited out simultaneously out of Jesus' mouth, right? So you can all be in the same boat. No, like I don't understand. You need to make some waves sometimes, Mel. You need to make some waves, and you need to set some rules and be the authority that God gave you and say, no.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, Summer, I feel like there's so many blind spots
There are
that
loopholes.
that become so obvious, especially when you puncture it with the light of God's word
Well,
that is undermining the authority of an
elder.
elder. And you think about that when I said, well, I'd probably defer to them.
And I thought about it.
Wow.
The problem with these things, Mel, is the enemy knows exactly what he's doing. I mean, look at how much sin he caused in the
5
goodness
minutes.
of people. All these young people said was, hey, we'd like to be a part of this, and hey, we have some ideas. That's all they said. And notice they were immediately shut down. Your ideas don't count.
Yep.
Your ideas we don't want.
Yep.
Right? And then the reaction was of older people, and it could have flipped. It could be the young people who said, we're not going to have anything to do with this if we don't do it our way. Whatever it is.
Right.
It's the concept, right?
Yeah, it's
They just immediately said, hey, we're not going to have anything to do with it. And Summer's right. In that moment, what does the enemy want from you, the pastor? He wants your power and your authority. And you gift wrapped it for him and actually put a bow on it.
yeah.
Mel, isn't this exactly a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways? Like, how much, as you're sitting there, I wish you could rewind it back, right? You're sitting there trying to figure out how to people please them all, and
Oh.
you're like in so much strife.
Yeah. Yes.
Because your mind is going like this. Like, I wish we had the tug of rope thing still up, because your brain is going like this, and it shouldn't be doing any of that.
No.
That's why you're unstable in your ways, because it's just this constant, I don't know what to do. Yeah, you do. It's right here. Just do this.
Which is
Right.
no matter what we do, it has to be done in love.
Mm-hmm.
Love's the
Yeah.
greatest. Above all, love your brothers. Above everything, love.
But you can love and be stern and firm, and you've
Right,
read Paul's letters.
Right. Stern and firm, but people, myself, don't
Unwavering.
associate that with love.
Well,
I know, but that's what we've got to get. That's
Then
where
you
I've got
need
to
to
get
read
used
the Old
to.
Testament
Then I've got to
more.
get used to that
You
because the peacekeeping,
doesn't work.
Deception.
It's all from the enemy, right? The peacemaking is what God's about.
right.
And the enemy mimics everything, right? There's great value in the fact that, you know what, sauerkraut and hot dogs might not be about what this is about, but there's a way to tell some young people, hey, that's not what this is about. I'm not kidding. It might be about a July event, but do you have other ideas? Are there other things that you would like to do? Like, are there other things that we could incorporate? I do think your meeting thing, the second people say to you, if you don't do it our way, we're not going to have anything to do with it.
Bye.
Summer is spot on. The biblical answer is
Adios.
goodbye.
Ultimatums?
Right?
No.
In love, right? You can point that out and say to them, are you really sure you want to go down that road? Because that's wrong. And I'm going to give you another chance. Would you really, like, you don't want to meet with us and you don't want to talk with us, right? Mm-hmm. The appropriate thing to do probably would be to schedule the meeting and give them an opportunity to change their mind, repent, and come to the meeting. Mm-hmm. And that's all doable.
You don't even need a meeting. Throw scripture right at their face, right in that moment. Just, you want to give them another chance? Okay. I could, maybe I'm a little, sometimes. Okay, say, okay, are you sure that you want to be disobedient to your elder right now in what you're saying and be divisive amongst the brethren? Is that what you're telling me? You want to rethink your answer? And I'd give them another chance.
That's good.
But seriously, that's what their statement was. Two sins. Division amongst the brethren, that's a sin. God hates it, actually. Mm-hmm. And we all know what happens when you go against an elder. You're cursed, you get pulled in front of the church, you get kicked out. Like, it's no bueno.
No, I still haven't forgotten that. First Timothy chapter 5, was it verse 21,
17,
22?
Yep, yeah.
Right around there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll never forget that moment when I realized, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is a verse that's overlooked
Yeah, you
regularly.
Can't just do this stuff.
Oh, wow.
So Mel, if God gave you the crystal ball and he said, Mel, look deep into this.
Yep.
And you saw that if you sided with the women's aid people, you would have a regular, normal, what you've always had, the same results you've had Thanksgiving. Right? You would pull it out. You were right. You know what they're going to get you, and they would do it. The community would fight through any division thing. They don't care. They just want the dinner. They would be great. But if you knew that your other choice was that by letting them go and going and turning your attention this way, said, no, we're going to love on these young people. That doesn't mean they're going to get what they want, but we're going to love on them. And you looked into that crystal ball and you saw the greatest Thanksgiving dinner you had ever had. More people, right? Better fellowship. Everything about it was way above and beyond. God just blessed for that thing. Which one would you take? The norm or the better?
Can I just also add to that by letting the older people go, that's loving on them too?
Yeah. Nope.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's tough love. But that's
the right
love.
love.
It's
God
the right
says
love.
to do. It's what God does. It's what God does. Like, all throughout the Old Testament, and all the laws and how hard they are and how hard the whole sacrificial system was, every time it was, what was the God's answer? So it will go well with you, right? This isn't to beat you up. It's so you don't go to hell. It's so that things go well with you. We hold you accountable, right? Mm-hmm. He chastens those he loves.
Yeah.
Those he loves, he chastens. You're not getting chastened, you're not loved.
Yeah. Exactly.
They would just let you go. Do whatever you want. Rack up the sins. Then you're sinning. Party. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your turkey and no sauerkraut.
And God is not pleased with any of it.
Yeah. He's like, enjoy your food. You probably choke on a wishbone.
But let's say, I mean, I'm thinking of your outcomes.
Yeah. What comes
See,
up?
I'm thinking not that there would be more people, not that it would be a better dinner. I feel like there's going to be a lot less people,
Could
and
be.
the dinner's not going to be as good.
But it would be
So-
real.
But God,
But it'd be
And
real.
Jesus would be there.
and God might be pleased.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So you want
And people might
you
be
want
closer
what
to
you
heaven.
know, Mel, or would you be willing to go with what you don't?
Oh, and you can go to sleep at night.
What you know, or would you be willing to take that step and go with what you didn't know?
See, I say I got to go with what I don't know. And as I think about that, it means making willful decisions that were contrary to the nature at which I do things.
Well, you realize the other way was willful ignorance
Yes,
to what
'Cause
you
I-
do know.
because I was ignorant, just in that scenario, I was ignorant to the rudeness, and I was ignorant to the undermining of the authority that's vested in me
Yeah.
and giving it away when it should not have been given away.
One way you most definitely are leading the church in idol worship.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other way, you're leaving it open to the worship of your Creator, Jesus.
And real
God.
fellowship and real outreach and real
But
love.
There are a lot of things, don't you think, Mel, in our churches where we're just simply idol worshiping. We're, you and I, Summer, and others are leading people in idol worship. The second that we say, if you don't do it my way, I'm not going to have anything to do with it. Is that not idol worship?
Yeah.
It certainly isn't God worship, because it should be, we're going to do it the way God wants, or we're not going to have anything to do with it. So a lot of these things we're doing and we're leading, or at the least, like you were going to do,
Participate.
we're just giving our power and authority over to them.
That's scary.
It's very scary. But there's a lot of things, and we're getting into the time of the year where this happens a lot, doesn't it? Thanksgiving and Christmas, we got
Yep.
a lot of idol worshiping going on. Lots and lots of it. This is how we always do it at Christmas, and this is how we always do it, and this is when we always do it. Like, what if it has to be different? What if God wants it to be different? What if simply God would allow it to be different? So Mel, if we rewound the tape, right, we put all the microphones back in, okay, and we said, so Mel, at your church this year, there's a few young people who are going to come up to you and they're going to say, Mel, we'd like to be a part of the Thanksgiving dinner. We have some ideas, some thoughts. We've got some even some foods we'd like to introduce, right? So you're in that moment, Mel. What would you say to them?
Young people, I think that's a great idea, but I'm not in charge of the dinner. I'd like for you to share that idea with the Ladies' Aid, and you go from there. Now, what if they
What if?
say, sure, everything's A-okay. Whew, I'm off the hook. That's great, and we have a great time. But what if
What if in What Ifsville?
What if
there is a rude response? What if there's a response that's curt, in 6 words, that makes these young people feel rejected? I think I would go to the Ladies' Aid and say, do you know what happened? Do you know how these young people feel? Do you recognize there's a certain fallout here which we need to address?
So it sounds like now you're looking at it as an opportunity to dig out and root out some sin.
Yes!
teach,
Yes!
Pastor and teach.
lead,
Yes.
and protect, and shepherd?
Right!
Isn't that funny that what ifs
Wow.
of What Ifsville lead to opportunities?
I know.
It's good to live in What Ifsville, man.
It is good. It is good.
Yeah, so then you're prepared for real life.
This has been great.
Happy Thanksgiving.
It's a good thing you made the right choice.
But was this the simple one or complex one?
Definitely the simple one.
Oh no! That was the simple one. The complex. You gotta be kidding me. Oh well, we'll have to wait till next week to find what that is. All right, bye for now.